Hello everyone, my name is Keelan Jackson. I'm here with Mr. David Suarez and we're here for an EOI interview today. So, Mr. David, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is David Suarez, and I just recently graduated from University of Michigan Flint with my degree in social work.
Congratulations. So what made you want to pursue that type of degree?
Naturally, I'm an empathetic person, and I've always cared about people and the impact of different factors on society. I felt social work would give me the avenue where I could kind of work with people and basically use what I feel are my gifts to kind of serve communities.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's cool. I'm definitely an empathetic person too, so I definitely understand. So what's your long-term goal with it?
Medical social work, I think. I would also like to go into private practice, and then a longer term goal would be I would like to become a professor at a university.
That's cool. So when you say like private practice, you trying to be like a therapist or you trying to be a therapist?
Yeah, so the goal is private practice. I would basically be kind of like a clinical therapist. So I would have individuals. I think the population I would like to work with would be adolescent through young adults. I think that's the population that I connect with the most.
Yeah, facts. And I think definitely the younger generation needs to be, I say, influenced by something or inspired by something to go more or go beyond and just have dreams in their life. What has been the best thing about your educational journey?
Man, I'd say this past senior year. So my degree was actually fully online. So for the first year and a half, basically, I was completely online. My senior year, we had to have an internship. We call it a practicum, and I was placed on campus with the Wolverine Essentials. And just the experience of being able to be on campus and kind of meet different professors, meet different faculty members, see the student bodies, and just kind of participate in different events, host different events. It provided, I think, something that I really needed, even though I didn't realize how much I needed it. But overall, I think the experience was amazing from the academic standpoint, also to just the U of M Flint community as a whole. I really appreciated it.
And are you from Flint?
So I'm not from Flint. I'm actually from Grand Rapids originally.
Okay, so how did you get here?
Yeah, so I actually was working for a company, and I ended up getting into an automobile accident. And when I got into the automobile accident, I said, I don't really want to live a life where I have to be kind of out in the rat race. I'm always, working these jobs and different things like that. I had some injuries that I was dealing with, like a concussion being one of them, and I had to go through like a bunch of rehab and a bunch of treatment, and mental health and just some of the things that I kind of was dealing with at the time were really kind of at the forefront of my mind. And I realized that this is something that is huge, and if me as an individual, if I'm experiencing certain things that I am, I think that other people, especially from the communities that I come from, they could really benefit from having somebody that can kind of relate to them and that can kind of help provide the education to seeking mental health treatment and to try to kind of reduce, the stigma. So that period of time for me basically motivated me to kind of go back into school and to, apply myself to something that basically I was passionate about.
That's nice. That's cool. So you say you were struggling with mental health when you got into the automobile accident, and this plays a part in why you study social work now?
Definitely, yeah. So basically, I had a concussion,
Right.
And then I was out of work. So especially as men, as black men, sometimes a lot of your I'd say your self-worth is basically on what you can produce. So there's a time where I'm injured, I can't work, I can't produce, I can't provide for myself. And I'm in this place where I'm dealing with a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury. And, I'm dealing with this concussion, which is something I've never experienced before. And so during this concussion, not only did I have the physical symptoms, but I also had the mental symptoms as well. So I was kind of in like a depression. The concussion was really severe. Honestly, if I could be completely honest, I was having headaches every 20 to 30 minutes. I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't watch TV and listen to someone talk at the same time without getting like a headache. You know, it really took me a long time to get rehabilitated, to be able to kind of go back outside, walk around. I had to start from like an hour a day, then up to 3 hours I work myself. So it was really a struggle just to kind of get back to a sense of a place of normalcy. But within that concussion, or in that recovery, I experienced a lot of moments of darkness. And fortunately, you know, I had a healthcare provider that was there for me. I ended up seeing a psychologist at the time, which I was able to see through my insurance at my work. And during that time period, I also experienced one of my best friends was murdered. My best friend and his younger brother were murdered. So it was just a lot of stuff, and we were just kind of off the heels of COVID. So it was a lot of stuff that was really going on, you know what I mean?
So how did you get through it? I'm sorry for cutting
No,
you
you're
off.
fine. I think that for myself, for so long, I kind of prided myself on just, I always thought that I was mentally strong, right? I didn't really understand what depression was. I didn't really understand what anxiety or any of those things were. I thought it was just kind of, you know, until I was impacted, you know, by those things myself. I realized how kind of fragile the brain was, and how important it was to kind of seek help when you can't get through things. So I was able to see a psychologist, and I kind of had a team of care just surrounding my injuries. And I think all of that together basically helped me kind of get back to a place of normalcy where I can kind of feel like myself again.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to you a lot on that, David. Honestly, being younger, like 14, 15, I didn't think, like, I never would have took mental health serious. Never would have took it serious until I went through the events that I went through. I went through some traumatic events. I lost my grandma, then I lost my uncle, then I lost a cousin right after that. So
Sorry to hear
going
that.
through that, I was just, like, mentally, I just wasn't there, you know? And being a teenager, I feel like no teenager should even have to experience that or go through that. And I feel like as men, we should talk about our problems with people, because if we don't talk about our problems with people, it bottles up as anger. And once it becomes anger, then somebody might end up spiraling out or whatever. So I feel like people should definitely seek mental counseling when it matters. Even when I was younger, my mom offered me grief counseling, and I told her I did not want to do it. You know, I feel like I could find my problems on my own, and I just never could until I actually found somebody that I could talk about my problems with, which is like, honestly, men's mental health is not taken serious enough, and that's a big problem in today's society. I think people are starting to open their eyes more as it keeps happening more and more, and they're like starting to realize, oh, it is something that should be took serious. But even then, growing up, being a kid, even like some people's fathers would tell them, oh yeah, boys don't cry, or this, and that, when in reality they do. And all of these contribute to the mental health of a young adolescent growing into an adult. So yeah, I definitely relate to you a lot. I understand for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's amazing that kind of you reached, you know, to that point, and your understanding of that, because it takes people a long time to kind of get to that point to where they start taking kind of mental health seriously. And also, I think within the Black community, just the stigma, right, around mental health, which is something that you spoke to, especially as men in general, we already have that stigma. You know, we have to have that stoicism. We have to be brave. We have to kind of push through, even when we're not feeling okay. So just allowing others, or giving them the education, and also showing them how to advocate for themselves, I think that's something that's very important as well.
Yeah, advocating for yourself is very important, because if you don't advocate for yourself, then, I mean, nobody else really will. You gotta really just go up and, I can't say you gotta get everything on your own, but it's a lot of things that you do that you gotta do on your own. You gotta learn through, you gotta realize that you gotta learn from your own mistakes. So when you were young, who or what had the biggest influence on your education?
When I was young, I would say my older brother. He is somebody that I always looked up to, and I definitely wanted to be like. He was the first one to go to college in my family. So he was the first one to go to college in my family, and he always kind of took me under his wing and tried to kind of protect me from certain situations and things going on. And he always tried to guide me to the right path, to make sure that I'm in school and that I'm, you know, taking care of what I got to take care of. So I'd say that my brother probably had the biggest impact on me in my academic journey, and just kind of allowing me to see from a young age what I could potentially reach, the heights that I could potentially reach.
And that's another thing also, is that young men need mentors and people like your older brother that they can look up to, and they can look up to them as like just inspiration. They want to be like them or even be better than them.
Yeah.
For me, it was my older cousin. I was staying with him at the time, and like I didn't really take school that serious. Like, I took it serious, but like I always had A's and B's. I just felt like that was good enough. But like, he motivated me to drive and push for all A's and just want better for myself. And I feel like that's something every young man should have, because if they have that, then that's definitely gonna inspire them to be better and be true to themselves in the future.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think I share kind of a similar sentiment from high school as well. In high school, I kind of was like the class clown. I never really took it seriously. So I used to wrestle in high school. And one moment that really kind of changed the course of the trajectory of, I guess, my life is my high school coach kind of came to me. He was one of my teachers as well. He pulled me to the side. He asked me about my GPA and what it was. And it was basically a very low GPA. I'm not going to say what it was, but he said, like, listen, you're basically close to being academically ineligible. And he put me on a plan basically saying that you got to turn in all your work, all your assignments, and if your grade drops below a B in any of your classes, then basically you can't participate. And then, coming from the community that I come from, being a young man, I wanted to be a part of something, right? So being able to be on the wrestling team, I was a part of something, right? I kind of had like a family, I had a group of my peers, and also being academically ineligible would be kind of embarrassing, right? Because kids would know, kids would pick on you, et cetera. So from there, I really turned it around and I made sure that I kind of focused and got my work done. And like you said, it was just the extra effort, right? It's just putting in the effort to make sure you get your work done on time and turn it in. And from there, I basically turned it around and was able to raise my GPA up above a 3.0 and it never went down.
I love that for you. And having those people like in your ear, on your shoulder, that's pushing you to be better for yourself, those people are also I don't think they're appreciated enough, honestly. Like, those type of people, they're going out their way to do better for you. And it's just like, without those type of people, I don't know where a lot of people would be at nowadays. I feel like everybody has had that one person to just push them to do better or just motivate them to want to become better. Even being younger, somebody that motivated me to want to become better was like NBA players, seeing how they live their lives and stuff. Like, that was cool. But when I did realize I wasn't going to the NBA, hey, I ain't gonna lie. Me realizing I wasn't going to the NBA, 9th grade, we out playing, some big kids though. We all on the freshman team. One of the kids on the opposing team get a steal, go on a fast break dunk. That dunk, he a freshman though. He only 14.
Yeah.
He ended up dunking on one of my teammates. And once I realized like it's really levels to this, I pushed even harder on my education. And that's why I feel like I'm to the point I am now. I'm graduating the valedictorian in my class.
Oh, congrats.
So thank you.
That's amazing.
So yeah, having that person to just push you the extra mile, it goes a long way. Do you feel like there's anybody you met that you could like be the same mentor for?
100%. I think that just the way that I look at life or I live life, I try to take from everyone and give to everyone as well. One of the biggest things that I kind of hold really close to my heart, or in social work we have like core values, right? And one of them is service. And I think that whenever I am around, I always try to be kind of in service to whoever I'm communicating with. Service not necessarily meaning that I'm providing something for you or I'm doing something for you, but it's right. I'm not causing you harm, right? When we have an interaction, it's going to be pleasant, right? I'm going to try and uplift you if I can, right? Even if I can just give you a smile. Something that I can do to basically help your day or help you out just as another human being.
So I got another question. So was it like you growing up in your environment that made you the empathetic person you was, or was it that you went through the events that you went through and you don't want nobody to experience the same things that you went through mentally that made you that type of person?
So I think it's actually a combination of both. I think it's, growing up within the Black community from like a lower socioeconomic status, right? Not really having much. It was 5 of us, and a single mother. She worked, multiple jobs sometimes, late nights, early mornings. Wasn't really there to kind of assist with like homework and different things like that. So for a lot of things, growing up in that environment, as a kid, you kind of, you tend to remember things, you tend to remember situations. So I think just from an early age, I was always a person that kind of cared about other people as well. One thing I do really remember is that I never really liked bullies. I never really liked when kids would pick on other kids. I was always the type of person that would stand up for them and kind of like defend them. So I think that it was just something that I was kind of born with. But I understand that, I've probably learned it from my environment and everything that I've seen. But also, especially with the mental health and going into social work and wanting to become a therapist, experiencing my own battles with mental health, depression, and anxiety. Those things really kind of opened my eyes and kind of helped me see that I want to kind of reach back to my community and just communities in general, but especially to that little black boy, that little black girl, little brown boy, and help them reach their potential, right? It's like, look at me, right? I kind of started off in a similar place as you. If I can do it, you can do it. Basically, kind of be like a beacon of hope or like a guiding light for those to kind of guide them, you know what I mean? To help them reach their fullest potential, especially in a society that kind of constantly tells them that you're not worthy enough or you're not smart enough or, people that look like you are, whatever stereotype you can kind of throw in there. So I think that's my main motivation.
Yeah. And coming from a society like this, honestly, it's a lot of haters. Like, you would be surprised, but there's also a lot of people that support you and want to see better for you. So is there like any advice that you would give anybody out there that's trying to pursue a degree in social work or some type of career in social work?
Yeah, definitely. I would say just, take your time. It's okay if you don't know everything. Trust in your support systems that you have, right? Trust in your faculty, your staff. Take it seriously. Do the work, right? Study. And also kind of give yourself grace, right? Be patient with yourself for not understanding everything, not knowing everything. Make sure that you just put one foot in front of the other, and also just know that you are worthy of the space that your feet take up, right? If you got into a program, you're deserving of that program, right? So walk in there with confidence and just also make sure that you're prepared, and you should be fine.
Do you think it is important for people to pursue a four-year degree?
Yes, I think it's very important for people to pursue a four-year degree. I think that a four-year degree opens up a lot of opportunities for an individual, and I also think that education is important. I think that when we are a more educated society, we're a more equitable society, a more just society, and education leads to, higher income a lot of the times, higher quality of life. So I think that a four-year degree or the education kind of brings on a lot of opportunities to kind of assist people, rise above that kind of poverty line, that threshold, and to kind of be able to set up the next generation for success as well. So.
Thank you. And also, do you have any advice to students who is growing up facing any adversity like poverty or just like violence within the community? Do you have any advice to them that's trying to make it out their environment and become better?
100%, yeah. So for anyone that's growing up in poverty or unhoused situations, or even children that grew up in foster care services or from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, or even violence within their community, I just want them to know that they are not their circumstances, right? And what happened to them or what they experienced is not a result of them or a reflection of them. And every single day that they wake up, they have a chance to basically prove to themselves and also prove to the world that they are fully capable and they are worthy of whatever dream it is that they choose to kind of dream about or reach for. So I'd say use your pain as motivation, turn that trauma into resilience. It's easier said than done, but I'm an example of somebody that has done it. So
Do you feel like the things you are doing will leave an impact on the next generation?
I think for myself, impact for me is if I can affect the life or help even one individual kind of reach their full potential. I think for me, that's a legacy, right? Can I change the world? I'm not sure. Will I try? I think so, but I think change starts within. And then, those closest to you, and then your community, and then policy and so forth and so on. So from what I can control, if I can affect those closest to me to kind of just be better individuals every day, I think for me that's worth it.
Out of all the things you've been through in life, what do you think is the most important thing you've learned?
I think the most important thing that I've learned is that, we're all human beings and we're all just trying, right? We're all just trying to, we're all just trying to survive, right? We're all just human beings on this earth, and we're all just kind of trying to make it the best way that we can. So kind of like give yourself grace and also give others around you, grace, because this is all of our first time in life, and we're all just kind of navigating it the best way that we know how.
How was you able to manage getting through those hard times or those obstacles?
I think for myself, what I dealt with a lot is imposter syndrome. And that's sometimes where you're in spaces or you're kind of in situations where you feel like, am I smart enough? Am I worthy enough? Am I really capable of doing the thing that I'm kind of set out, doing? I think it kind of can become overwhelming, and then the doubts start kind of creeping in. So I think for me, that is something that is was kind of like a bad experience for me, but I was able to kind of push through and use that as, motivation.
Yeah, imposter syndrome, I feel like it's something that a lot of people go through, especially feeling like that they shouldn't be in the type of position they're in. But the way I look at it, because I've suffered from imposter syndrome also, but the way I look at it is like, if you weren't doing the great things you were doing, or you didn't have this type of potential, then you wouldn't be in this room or this type of position to be doing the things that you're doing. So I feel like the best way to like get over imposter syndrome would kind of be like to shift your mindset towards like, I deserve to be here. That's like the best way I could word it. What's your next plans?
Yeah. So I accepted an offer from University of Michigan School of Social Work in Ann Arbor for graduate school. So my plan is to go to graduate school and get my master's degree. So that's kind of the next big step for me, or the next big goal is to finish my master's degree.
You did say your brother was a first generation college student. Do you feel like he not only inspired you, but like more people in your family to want to go to college also?
I think so. I think my older brother, he went to college on a football scholarship, and then the brother that's below him, but is still my older brother, he also was able to go to college on a football scholarship as well. I wasn't blessed with those talents or those abilities, so I didn't get any scholarship for sports or anything. But I saw that it was reachable, right? That was something that I can achieve. Even if I didn't really fully believe that I could actually accomplish it or do it, seeing someone that looked like me and from my home accomplish it, at least put that thought in the back of my head that maybe one day that's something that I'd like to do as well.
What barriers or obstacles do you feel like a first generation student could face?
Oh, so many. When you have parents that, for whatever the reason are, let's say they may not have even finished high school, right? It's difficult for them to be able to help you navigate even, let's say, some of your high school classes. It's also difficult for them to help you navigate, let's say, filling out the FAFSA, just the whole process, when to start, what schools to look into, what programs that you would like. So a lot of times, a lot of these individuals are kind of doing it by themselves, especially if they come from an underserved community and their school system, let's say, isn't the best. It's underfunded, so they don't really have the capacity to kind of pull students aside, give them counselors, help them understand how to apply for college, how to take the ACT or SAT. So, there's a lot of different reasons why, it could be difficult for an individual. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean that it can't be done.
Growing up, did you face any adversity?
100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I grew up in a family, we were very poor. We were definitely below the poverty line. My mother was in an abusive relationship. So one night we had to pack all of our bags, her and all of her kids, and we just had to move to a different city into a shelter. So, there are definitely things I've experienced in my life, or adversity that I've had to deal with. People say that it's resiliency, right? You kind of you're able to overcome it through resilience, but people aren't inherently resilient, right? It's not something that you have within you. It's kind of a reaction to a situation that you're kind of forced into. So I've definitely overcome a lot of things, but I don't use them as a crutch to kind of hold me back. I use them as motivation, you know what I mean? So in the future, for a future family, I want to kind of be an example of what we can be and kind of break those generational curses, that generational poverty, kind of, break those things, and it's going to stop with me.
I'm trying to do the same exact thing for myself. Do you have any advice for me as I am trying to better my life and make it out this terrible city?
As valedictorian, first of all, congratulations. That's amazing. As a valedictorian, as someone who's already gotten into a university, so you already kind of have your path set out for you, which is amazing. I'd say definitely take the positives away from being here from Flint. Obviously, the city isn't probably what you would like it to be, but it's still your city, it's still your home, and it still raised you. So definitely be proud of where you're from, number one. Don't let anybody make you feel less than because of where you're from. And when you get to college, there's going to be glitz and glamour, and all of these different things, but keep your goal and keep your focus kind of in mind, and always keep that in the forefront. Don't be afraid to switch and pivot. Sometimes your degree or sometimes a program that you like might not necessarily be, what's best for you in that moment, and that's okay. Just know that you have time and you can kind of figure things out, but just keep moving forward and you'll just be fine. You'll be fine.
Thank you, I appreciate that. What are some reasons that you think people should not go to college?
I don't think that everyone is necessarily wants to go to college. A plumber, carpentry, these skilled trades are also very important that individuals can do, and they don't necessarily have to go to college to do that. They can sometimes get a certificate. So I think we're all on our different paths, and if college isn't someone's choice, I think that's fine.
School, it's for whatever I say benefits you. Like if it benefits you in a way, then yeah, I say you should go to school. But if not, then I say you should do whatever your heart desires or whatever your heart follows. For example, some people start rapping or making music at 14. By the time they're about 19, 20, they've been doing it for so long that they're talented. Playing sports, it goes the same way. It's crazy to see it's a wide variety of things that people are just skilled at. And even growing up, were you exposed to any careers that made you want to do this type of work?
I never really had any interactions with therapists or counselors or anything like that, no.
And what was your high school experience like? Going into high school, how did it shape you?
I think going into high school, right, I think I was kind of set up a little bit better than most kids. Mm-hmm. My older brother was already at school, and he was already like, all-American track athlete, all-American in football, right? So he was already kind of like a popular kid. So me coming in, I kind of like skated in because he was already there and he was kind of already making a name. Once he left, and it was my sophomore year, and I was kind of on my own, I think that's where I really had a chance to kind of see who I was in relation to, right, my peers and who I thought I was. And I'd say, getting into sports and then kind of turning myself around, I could still be that funny person, that class clown, but I could also push myself to see what my potential is. So I think for me overall, I enjoyed high school. I had a good high school experience.
Yeah, and I feel like high school gives you the chance to just learn and grow as a person in general. Because even outside of the academics, you still got the social part of it. You still got to meet new people. You still got to make networking connections. So like high school, it's an experience for sure. And I feel like it's a fun experience for everybody, especially if you make it fun. Like you don't have to go through high school and then be mad at anything. Like high school for me was a breeze, if you ask me. Even though people try to like say it's hard to get all A's, it's not really if you just put yourself to it and you just, I don't know, high school was cool, I guess. Like I'm just glad to be gone now. I can't lie. High school it's a thing of trial and error. You're doing everything, like even though you're failing at some things, you're bettering yourself because you're learning from those mistakes and you're knowing not to make those same mistakes again.
100%.
Once you go through high school, after that, that's when you really become a man. You know, as a kid, you be like, oh, I can't wait to be grown. I can't wait to do this. Yeah, like, I kind of realized that in high school, like, oh, y'all, I can't believe I rushed that. And even after high school, you don't want to be looking back like, dang, I should have did this or I should have did that. I want to write and produce my own films one day.
Okay.
And it's because, like, growing up, I've always had I call it a special ability of just being able to imagine stories as a movie as they're being told to me. Like, as you're telling me about the things that you went through and that like your life experiences, I can imagine that in my head like it's being played out in the movie. So that's what inspired me and wanted me to pursue that type of goal and career. And psychology is going to play a part in it also, because if you studying people, you can use the psychology in your films also. It's like you create emotional connection with the people. So that's what made me want to study psychology in film. I've been watching videos on how to write my own scripts for videos and how to produce my own skits and stuff. And I think that's where I want to start at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm working on it for sure. I want to create a crime drama. I want to create those type of films, those type of movies, like a cinematic movie probably about Flint, honestly.
Okay. Do you want it to be based in fact or fiction or a combination of both?
Kind of like a documentary in a way. Or like, you know what a biopic is? Something like that, like a mixture of a documentary or a biopic. Like, I want to take somebody's story and turn it into a movie. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great journey. I can't wait to see what it has to offer for me. 5 years along the line, I just can't wait to see where I'm going to be at, you know? I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but it's going to be something along those lines. And you do work here, right?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, are you a student?
I just graduated.
Oh, that's what's up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
That concludes our interview today. Again, it's me, Keelan, and Mr. David Suarez. Thank you for watching this EOI interview with us.